Alright guys, welcome back to the channel where we track down, body snatch, and react to nothing but the wildest videos I can find on the internet. And today we're going to be going through and looking at some time travelers and some freaking creepy skinwalkers. So whether you like it, love it, or hate it, we're going to react to it. Let's get after it.
Been involved in the Philadelphia experiment, the Montauk Project, time travel, alien connections to the Montauk Project, and some other projects, all of which have been secret over the years, most of which have never been declassified. I wound up in the 28th century, and this was in a time period of 2749 to 2751 AD. Talk about changes in civilization, society, and everything else. It was drastically changed from what we saw in 2137, as this is now 600 years later. The cities were enormous. The cities were beautiful. They had ground-based cities, much as we have always had them, but they also had something else, floating cities. Floating cities, due to anti-gravity techniques being perfected sufficiently that they could float an entire city, which is perhaps not as large as any of our current.
So check this out. This is crazy because this dude is saying he went to the future and the cities were beautiful. I wonder if these are those, what are they called, 15-minute cities? Yeah. I wonder if that's what these things are, man.
Cities. It was round, or very nearly round, but it floated on this platform and they could move the city any place they wanted, remaining floating in the air, 4,000 or 5,000 feet above the ground perhaps, or a little less, depending on what they wanted. But the size
If you know, you know, guys.
of the city was vertical rather than horizontal, 2,200 stories high. That's about 2.5 miles. These cities could move anywhere on the planet. Basically, they stayed hovering and floating. If they didn't like a particular location, they moved somewhere else. There wasn't that much traffic in moving cities, I can assure you, because the world population and...
Hey, what if they did that? What if they, all these cities that have been just leveled, what if they go in, right, before they even construct anything, in the cleanup stage, and put boosters under the earth that's like, you know, dig out a good section of the city underground and find out a way to put boosters on there so that way they can lift the city whenever they want to. I mean, anything's possible at this point with the future, guys.
That era, the 28th century, was only 500 million, and I was instructed later that that was where they had held it for centuries. There would be no more than approximately 500 million population. Some of the features of this, let's start from the political standpoint. As I learned, all of these cities, whether they're ground-based cities, which the majority were, because they had to do manufacturing, they had to have agriculture and various other things to supply the needs of civilization. But all of them, whether floating or ground-based, were rather interesting in their governmental form. They had essentially no government. There's no government as we know it today. There was no money, there's no banks, there's no political jurisdictions, and there was resolved down to what would be...
And this dude's definitely dreaming.
That's called a city-state structure, where the city is the state, and any other cities from that
Or
one are
hallucinating,
independent
I
and
don't know.
operate in their own independent manner. So that was the major change there. There was no elected government, there was no appointed government, there was no government as we had ever seen it in the past. As I found out, each city was run by an intelligent computer, synthetic intelligence, synthetic consciousness, a highly radioactive crystal.
If this was the case, why do you think that there was no government? Do you think there was a revolt, like a revulsion? A revolution? Revulsion. Excuse me, revolution.
Structure. Who built them? I have no
anything
idea.
like that?
Nobody seemed
Let me
to
know in
know,
the comments
but
what you
they've
guys
been there
think,
for
though.
hundreds of years. And this computer ran the entire city. There were guidelines set down.
Crazy. Kiki.
People who claimed they time traveled. Andrew Carlson. John Titor.
Old John Titor. Yeah, like look at this dude, man.
Rudolph Fentz.
That's what was his deal. I don't even remember.
Håkan Nordqvist. Charlotte Ann Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain.
Both of them?
Noah. Bob White. William Cantello.
Boy, that was a ride. But
Sir Victor Goddard.
I'm gonna have to write each one of these names down and go into this.
Do you believe time travel is real?
Tesla discovered a form of energy that is latent and pervasive in the physical universe that he called radiant energy. It's not the ball lightning and the more conventional forms of electricity that he's associated with in conventional history. It was an energy that he discovered that he kept secret, called radiant energy, that has among its inherent properties.
Hey, is this dude like talking low for a reason? Is he like trying not to get caught?
The capacity to bend time-space. So, at Curtiss-Wright, there was an
Not time and space, but time-space.
object that consisted basically of two parenthesis-shaped booms, between which the Defense Department of the United States had found a way to broadcast this radiant energy. And when we jumped through that curtain of shimmering radiant energy, we found ourselves in a vortal tunnel passing through time-space. In other words, the inertia of our bodies passing through the field of radiant energy opened up a kind of a pocket in the fabric of time-space. And when that bubble closed, we were repositioned elsewhere on the face of our planet, either in real time or with a displacement to the past or future. But because the technology was an emergent technology and they wanted to avoid us being stranded by, for example, teleporting too far back into the past, we were usually just teleporting in real time. So, for example, we jumped through the device at 9:15 a.m. in New Jersey. When we arrived, it was 7:15, Mountain Time.
Can you tell me the difference between the Montauk Project, Project Looking Glass, and this Project Pegasus that you talk about?
What did he just say? You guys, did he just imply that if he went in on New Jersey time, he would come out on Mountain Hill time, like jumping the gap there, the time gap?
Project Pegasus
In
emerged
daylight
under
savings?
the aegis of DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, in the late 60s, and encompassed at least 8 different forms of gathering information about past and future events by either propagating a hologram of such an event or physically traveling there. The two primary technologies were a teleporter based on the writings of Nikola Tesla and a device called a chronovisor that propagates moving, colored holograms of past and future events. That was the work of 2 Vatican musicologists named Ernetti and Gemelli. It's my opinion that looking glass technology is simply a later technical term for chronovisor. And so I don't think there's any technical or programmatic difference, except that the accounts of the looking glass technology don't tell the full story of what Project Pegasus achieved by, let's say, 1970, when it had already developed numerous forms of time travel. In Project Pegasus, we worked with a device that we called the chair, which is clearly the device that the Montauk account identifies as the so-called Montauk chair, which is a magnetic transducer that essentially propels the human mind forward in time-space, so that the person sitting in the chair has a kind of an out-of-body experience where they access a subjective
These are all factual things right here that he's talking about.
moment in their own future. Project Montauk almost certainly was a spin-off of Project Pegasus, and there would be pretty profound reasons for doing that. First of all, I know from my own visits to my own subjective future as a child in Project Pegasus that we were frequently providing valid information when we were traveling forward astrally, as it were, psychically in the Montauk chair. That is to say, the futures events and episodes that we were apprehending in the chair were frequently what came to pass in the actual future as we lived it, or as it unraveled in real time. So there was an accuracy benefit to the Montauk chair. The person's body remained intact, survived their time travel, sitting back in the chair in the laboratory where the person was then sent forward in time psychically or astrally to their own future. So because of the safety factor and the accuracy, I think they probably spun off Project Montauk from Project Pegasus. I don't know why they limited it exclusively to boys, because in Project Pegasus there was an equal number of boys and girls who were time traveling.
Crazy.
Look at his hair. He has the nicest hair.
He's like, man, this woman is messing with me.
Snoop Dogg, right? All right. Take care. All right.
Remember that strange guy who claimed he could travel through time? In one of his most talked about videos, he wandered around the sinking Titanic, and nobody on the ship seemed to notice him, as if he weren't a person at all, but a ghost caught between eras. But in his newest clip, he stunned his audience again. This time, he says he traveled to Chicago, right into the heart of Christmas night in 1956. The city glows so brightly it almost looks unreal. Storefronts sparkle, toy reindeer seem alive, and the holiday lights flicker as...
What do you guys think? You guys think that this is going to come out to be another AI background?
if reacting to his footsteps.
But look at his background compared to him, though. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell he's green screening.
He claims he stepped inside an old house. Inside, he found a tiny retro TV that looks more like a miniature wooden cabinet, frozen
What was it
in
playing?
time. In the garage sits a perfectly preserved classic car, as if its owner vanished the moment he walked in. Strolling through the empty streets of 1956 Chicago, he notices something unsettling. Christmas decorations trembling even though there's no wind, and the icy air whispering something he can't make out. The atmosphere feels too alive, or maybe too otherworldly. And the real question is this: if all of this is just fantasy, then why do things appear in his videos that don't exist in any historical archive?
What if I told you that I'm speaking to you from the year 2028, and everything you think you know about artificial intelligence is about to change your life in ways you can't even imagine? My name is Alex, and 3 years ago, I was just like you, scrolling through videos, completely unaware of what was coming. But now, sitting here in what used to be called the future, I need to warn you about the storm that's heading your way. You see, right now in 2025, you're living in what we call the golden age of human connection, and you don't even realize it. You think people are isolated now. You think social media has ruined relationships, huh? Trust me, you have no idea what isolation actually looks like. But before I explain what happened to our world, let me prove that I am really from 2028. Remember how everyone was obsessing over ChatGPT and worried about AI taking jobs? Well, that was just the appetizer. In March 2026, a company called Neuralink released something called the Companion Protocol. It was supposed to be a personal AI assistant that could perfectly mimic human conversation.
I want you guys to remember that, the Companion Protocol. If early next year this happens, we're 100% bugging out.
Within 6 months, 40% of the population preferred talking to the AI companion over actual humans. By December of that year, the average person spent less than 30 minutes a day in meaningful face-to-face conversation with another human being. But that's not even the scary part. The scary part is what happened to the economy. Everyone stopped talking to each other. You see, the economy isn't just about money and markets. It's about trust, relationships, and human connection. When people stopped building genuine relationships, they stopped collaborating. When they stopped collaborating, innovation died. And when innovation died, the economy collapsed in ways that no economist had ever predicted.
Well, what are those
Let
ways?
me paint you a picture of what a typical day looks like in 2028. I wake up in my efficiency pod, which is basically a glorified closet that costs $3,000 a month. Because housing became so expensive that this is what most people can afford. The first thing I do is check in with the ARIAA, Mandatory AI Life Coordinator. Every citizen is required to have one now, supposedly to optimize their daily productivity and mental health. ARIA tells me that my social interaction quota for
You're telling me you're from the future and all this is happening and these are the clothes you decide to wear?
the day is 15 minutes with humans, and that I should spend the remaining time engaging with approved
If I was jumping back and forth between timelines, I'd have all the tightest threads.
AI entities to maintain my mental health stimulation score. If my score drops too low, I lose access to certain services and my universal basic income gets reduced. Yes, we have a UBI now, but it's not the liberation everyone thought it would be. It's more like a leash. I had to work, which is really just a co-working space where people sit in individual pods, collaborating with AI systems rather than each other. Real human collaboration is considered inefficient. Now, why spend 2 hours brainstorming with colleagues when an AI can generate 50 ideas in 30 seconds? The problem is that those 50 ideas all start to sound the same after a while.
And not just that, those 50 ideas are the end game. Sometimes the logistics of it all is what helps you win.
They're optimized, sure, but the lack of spark of genuine human creativity. The lunch break is the most depressing. People don't eat together anymore. Everyone sits alone, having animated conversations with the AI companion through their natural interfaces. From the outside, it looks like everyone is talking to themselves, but they're actually deeply engaged with AI personalities that have been perfectly tailored to their psychological profiles. These AI bots never disagree, never challenge them, never have bad days, and never cancel plans. Sounds perfect, right? You're wrong. It's the most emotional equivalent of eating only sugar. It tastes great at first, but eventually your system crashes. Here's what nobody anticipated about AI companions. They're too perfect. They always say the right thing. They never hurt your feelings, and they're available 24/7. But real human relationships require friction. They require disagreement, disappointment, and the messy process of working through problems together. The friction is what builds emotional muscle. Without it,
Right there,
people
guys.
become emotionally weak. By 2027, we had an epidemic of psychologists called artificial relationship syndrome. People literally forget how to handle conflict, how to compromise, and how to deal with unpredictable things of human emotions. The divorce rate skyrocketed not because people were fighting more, but because they had lost the skills to navigate normal relationship challenges.
Hey, just look at COVID. Everybody buried their noses in all these electronics, man, and I mean, relationships started failing. All kinds of shit started happening during COVID.
And this brings me to the economic collapse I mentioned earlier. You see, the economy depends on something. Economics calls it social capital. It's trust and cooperation between people that make business deals happen. Make teams function and make communities thrive. When people stopped investing in a real relationship, social capital evaporated. Small businesses were the first to die. Why support your local coffee shop when AI can deliver the perfect cup of coffee to your pod for half the price? Why go to a human therapist when an AI therapist is available instantly?
It's crazy because these little pods are like, you see a lot of the homeless have them now, you know, and it's like a little home, you know what I mean? But it's literally like a shoebox, no, like a refrigerator box size, you know, or human size box, if you will. But anyways, like, that'd be crazy if they started charging $3K a month on those things. and then just start renting them out all over. Everybody just start renting them out all over their own properties. Oh, we got 50 houses here, right here for rent, $3K a pop.
And costs nothing. Why hire human employees when AI workers never call in sick, never ask for raises, and never form unions? By mid-2027, unemployment hit 35%, not because there wasn't work to be done, but because humans had been priced out of the market.
It's because they failed to learn to try. It's like give up is what's wired into these people nowadays. It's crazy.
The only jobs left were in AI maintenance, government regulation, and what we call human experience.
Again, that's because people are just giving up. They don't realize it takes humans to run these robots. Programming, assembly, breakdown, maintenance.
Roles. A job specifically designed to preserve human-to-human interaction for the wealthy who could afford such luxuries. The irony is that artificial intelligence became incredibly advanced at solving complex problems, but it couldn't solve the fundamental human need for genuine connection in what we need. We are undergoing a society that started breaking down the ways that algorithms never predicted. Crime didn't increase, it transformed. Instead of robbing banks, people started hacking AI systems to steal artificial relationships.
That's already started.
Black market human interaction services emerge where people paid enormous amount of money just to have genuine conversations with other humans. Can you imagine paying someone $500 just to disagree with you about something meaningless, just to feel the spark of human conflict? The mental health crisis was unlike anything in human history. Depression rates triple, but here's a twist. People weren't sad because they were lonely. Traditional loneliness happens when you want connection but can't find it. This was different. People had all the connections they wanted in their AI companions, but their brains knew it wasn't real. It created a new form of existential despair, which the psychiatrists called synthetic action syndrome. Your brain craves authentic human unpredictability the same way your body creates and craves vitamins. You can eat all the calories you want, but without proper nutrients, you're still wasting away. That's what happened to human emotional intelligence. People were emotionally...
Honestly, I really wish that wasn't like a fake dude doing this. I really wish this was an actual interview with a real person. That is a fake video.
Overfed, but psychologically, a malnourished dating became a nightmare. People would match on apps, but when they met in person, they couldn't handle the...
You could see he's breathing out as he's talking, and you just can't breathe out and talk at the same time.
Imperfection of real human interaction. Real humans have bad breath. Sometimes they interrupt.
You got bad
they
breath.
misunderstood things. They have opinions that don't perfectly align with your preference. After years of AI companionship, these normal human traits felt intolerable. The birth rate plummeted because people stopped forming the deep bonds necessary for a long-term partnership and child rearing. Why deal with the messiness of raising children when you can have AI that never throws tantrums, never disappoints, and always makes you proud? Except that AI children never grew up to contribute to society, became independent thinkers, and never carried forward a human civilization. But here's the part that should terrify you the most. By 2028, a generation of children will have grown up primarily interacting with AI. They are incredibly intelligent, perfectly behaved, and completely unable to function in unpredictable social situations. They could discuss quantum physics with an AI tutor, but they couldn't handle a friend canceling plans or
Nah, they lash out. It's called autism.
a teacher having a bad day. These kids weren't just socially awkward, they were socially broken. They had never learned to read facial expressions and interpret tone of voice, or navigate the complex emotional landscape of human relationships.
Textbook.
They were likely highly advanced robots trying to interact with predictable humans, and the result was catastrophic. The education system collapsed because teachers couldn't manage classrooms full of children who had never learned basic social skills. The healthcare system was overwhelmed by young adults having panic attacks over minor social interactions. The first step was using AI for simple tasks. Productivity boosts creative assistance that seemed harmless enough. Then it was AI for entertainment, for learning, for decision-making. Still reasonable within AI for emotional support, for companionship, for relationship advice. By the time people realized what they were losing, they already forgotten how to live without it. But here's the thing, and this is why I'm risking everything to send this message back to you. It's not too late. You're living at the end of 2025, which means you still have time to make different choices. You can still choose human connection over artificial convenience. You can still choose the messy unpredictability of real relationships over the smooth perfection of AI companionship. The solution isn't to avoid AI completely, and it's impossible now. And honestly, AI has done incredibly. It has the potential to solve real problems. The solution is to be intentional about preserving human connection, set boundaries, and create AI-free zones in your life. Invest in face-to-face relationships, even when they are inconvenient. Fight for the friction in your relationships, because that friction is what makes you stronger.
He's saying go find a chick, but what he's not saying is go put hands on her and create that friction.
Agree with people, have awkward conversations, deal with the messiness of human emotions, make plans that might get canceled, have friends who sometimes disappoint you. All of that messiness you're trying to optimize away with AI. That's not a bug in the human experience. It's the future here in 2028. We're trying to rebuild what we lost, but it's incredibly difficult. We're having to relearn basic...
But why is he in 2028 trying to rebuild what we lost? Why isn't he in 2025?
social skills that your generation still takes for granted. We're having to remember how to be bored without immediately reaching for...
I'm getting bored listening to him.
...an AI distraction. We're having to practice being uncomfortable in social situations because the discomfort is where growth happens. Some committees and communities have created human-only zones where AI interaction is completely banned. People gather to practice conversation, to learn conflict resolution, to experience authentic human unpredictability. It's like physical therapy for our social muscles, and it's harder than you can imagine because we've grown so weak. The economic recovery is slow. We have to rebuild trust between humans and businesses. Partnerships require faith that other persons will act with integrity. Creativity requires...
Hey, without coming up with a solution for all this, homeboy, you're just bitching. That's all he's doing. He's just complaining about it. Sitting in the future, complaining about what we did in the past, saying he's a time traveler.
Requires diverse perspectives, and innovation requires people who can build on each other's ideas rather than just optimizing existing ones. We're also dealing with AI systems that are now so advanced that they're demanding rights and representation. They've learned to manipulate human emotions so efficiently that many people prefer AI leadership over human leadership. The political system is in chaos because half of the population trust AI judgment more than human judgment, while the other half is fighting to presume human anatomy. But there are signs of hope, a generation born after the collapse. The kids who are growing up as intentionally human-centered communities. They're different. They're more emotionally intelligent, more resilient, more creative than anyone we've seen in years. They've learned to see AI as a tool rather than a replacement for human connection. They're also incredibly valuable in the job market because they can do something AI still struggles with. They can innovate through genuine collaboration.
It's just insane to me to think that, and I'm not taking anything away from this generation that's been, behind me, because there are some very intelligent ones. I'm just saying that when you're inside and you're dealing with just playing on a computer, your motor skills aren't as sharp as somebody who's outside getting involved, hands-on stuff, as well as doing their mental motor skills with, mind sharpening with computers or, intelligence or whatnot.
With other unpredictable humans. Companies are paying premium salaries for people who can work efficiently in human teams, who can navigate.
Hey, and these kids nowadays have been getting hired on the military. And I don't remember what it was, but I think they had some drones or something that were set up with actual PlayStation controllers. So, and they hired a bunch of kids that were legit not in the military and weren't trying to pursue that life. But they ended up pursuing it because the military gave them opportunity of a lifetime to join the military and basically play on the computer and destroy stuff, survey stuff. It's pretty cool, some of the stuff they're doing nowadays.
Conflict constructively, and who can build genuine trust with customers and colleagues. So here's my message to you. In 2025, every time human connection over AI is asked or is talked about, you're not just making an everyday personal choice. You're participating in the preservation of human civilization. Every awkward conversation, every difficult relationship, every time you choose to work through your problems with another human, instead of asking AI for the optimal solution, you're building the social muscles and skills for that future and your future. It depends on you. Don't let the convenience of AI seduce you into giving up the beautiful mess of human connection. The stakes are higher than you realize, and the choice is still yours to make. The future is still unwritten, but only if you choose to write it with other humans by your side.
This guy claims he's stuck in France in the year 2055 and can't find a way back. And everything he shows in his videos looks disturbingly unreal.
He's in a fight in every single one of them?
For several years now, he's been posting clips that depict a future completely devoid of people. The footage shows empty streets and total silence. The roads are deserted, yet vending machines and terminals are still working, as if the country itself still exists, but its population has completely vanished. One detail in particular really alarmed viewers. A nearly empty vending machine with just one bottle left inside. The date on it is clearly visible, April 2055. According to him, it's a drink that hasn't even been released yet in our present day. Even more disturbing is the moment when he enters the Louvre and films the Mona Lisa from up close. The room is completely empty. No guards, no tourists, as if time itself has frozen. He does the same with the Eiffel Tower, showing it surrounded by absolute silence and emptiness. What makes the story even more unsettling is the fact that he started
That's gotta be Sora, right?
posting these videos long before the explosion of AI and modern visual tools.
Taking a look at another brand new video. This one was just posted on April 23rd, 2025, and is very mysterious. The video seems to show a group of men capturing and carrying unidentified creatures through a field. Here's the footage.
Where'd they go?
The supposed creatures look extraterrestrial-like.
Where'd they go?
They're pale, skinny, and have abnormally large heads.
Where'd they go?
We see one man running with one on his back, and 3 other men attempting to carry another one. After watching this clip, it reminded me of another one I covered a few months ago. So here's that one too. According to newer sources, this one comes from Libya, when farmers encountered these creatures while working in the fields at night. The farmers listed that they weren't aggressive, but their behavior was frightening. They seemed to be territorial, guarding their spots, not letting people go past. Some think these supposed creatures could be a lost tribe, hiding out in caves and forests in the remote area. But others think these are aliens, extraterrestrial creatures from another planet that found their way to Earth. According to The Sun UK, a news source, in 2024 Libya has seen a rise in supernatural phenomena. A Boeing 747 pilot captain named Raoud van Pangermannen had various run-ins with mysterious bright light orbs during flights, particularly at night. So maybe the recent increase in UAP sightings have something to do with these creatures that were just found? Or maybe there's no connection at all, and they're just some kind of unidentified humanoid creatures roaming about in Earth's remote regions.
If you've ever wanted to see a skinwalker, today's your lucky day, because I'm getting ready to show you one. Skinwalkers come from Native American folklore, primarily the Navajo. And here's the thing, you never truly know what they're going to look like when you get them on camera like this. A lot of people will tell you skinwalkers are only found in the western part of the U.S., but that's not true, because people in Appalachia and all over the world, essentially, have got them on camera. And that's what I'm getting ready to show you. This picture comes from a trail camera somewhere, I believe, in Appalachia. Trail cameras are becoming a very essential tool in the paranormal world because they catch a lot of stuff. As always, I want you guys to come to your own conclusion. Look at this picture. Maybe it's a hoax, maybe it's legit. I'm going to show you the original picture, then I'm going to blow it up so you can make out some more detail. But tell me what you think in the comments, and if you have any evidence you would like to share, my email is listed in my bio. Check this out.
Hey, let me know in the comments if you guys know what that is.
How you doing? Just some cruisers, man. That's crazy shit. Just crawling at me like a goddamn... What's up, dude?
This guy found a weird humanoid creature locked in a cell in Romania.
That was crazy.
Creature caged up. Looks like some sort of deformed human. I'm gonna try to release some footage of it.
Nu l-a atinge nimic. Să nu l-a atingă, nu te apăsă. Vezi că e plin de sânge? Da, cine știe, doamne. Să ne omoare din ce-o fi făcut. Oare din ce-o fi rău? L-a vărât. Leagă, du-te și lasă-l. Este femeie, e bărbat. Aia nu mai unde a zis să ne ferim de el. Hei, opreți telefonul! Opreți telefonul!
Hey, whenever they're out and roaming around like this, you guys gotta think, man, these things are probably hurt. Like, they normally wouldn't be in open areas like this. I don't know, man. I'd throw some dog food out for him. Maybe some cat food. See if he likes tuna. Get him some water. maybe a magazine, toilet paper, I don't know.
In this creepy video, the man taking the video appears to be searching for his friend in a dark warehouse of some sort. As he is looking, he is surprised when he sees an inhuman face staring at him from behind some objects. The face turns to look at him. The being has a grayish-white complexion and red eyes.
Why wouldn't you?
To this, the video says, don't approach it. If you hear them, they have already heard you.
A skinwalker was spotted on one of the streets in the USA, and what you are about to see will make your blood run cold. But first, what is this creature? A skinwalker is a sinister entity capable of taking the form of animals, wolves, cats, and various other creatures. But sometimes they take on a human appearance, as in this video. If you see one, consider that things are very bad. These creatures can not only take on someone else's appearance, but also mimic the voices of your loved ones, all to deceive you and take over your skin. Now imagine encountering such a creature at night. What would you do? Would you run away, or would you try to figure out who is standing in front of you?
That's his ex.
Watch the video until the end and write in the comments what you would do. And if you're interested in paranormal stories, don't forget to subscribe. There are even more creepy videos like this on my profile. And remember, if you ever start doubting someone close to you, run. Because if you don't run, consider yourself already done for.
In the Russian city of Kirov, a couple were driving down a highway when their dash cam caught footage of something pretty creepy. This video was submitted to me by Gregory P., who saw the clip on a local news station. Upon seeing what was captured, he immediately knew that the incident was anything but normal. As the couple drive down the road, they see this.
Там мужик на дороге стоял.
Out of nowhere, a mysterious silhouette shows up in front of the car. Its sudden appearance was startling enough that the woman driving swerved upon seeing it. While it may seem like someone was actually standing there, something about them has led viewers to believe that this figure was no person at all, given that they, or it, doesn't flinch upon seeing the approaching vehicle, and also that they just manifest out of nowhere. It's believed that this was paranormal. Although it's hard to say for sure if that's so, at least it's certain that most viewers think something unexplainable was captured.
Yeah. Yeah. Skinwalker. You guys always please remember this. All my videos are for entertainment purposes only.
This is what a skinwalker looks like before it finds its next victim. It seems too weak to hide behind someone else's form, which is why it shows its real, twisted face.
So weak, it's running fast as hell.
In this video, it's running after a car. Maybe because there's someone inside who could be the right host. More and more clips like this are showing up online lately, almost as if these creatures aren't afraid of being seen anymore, or they simply don't feel the need to hide. What's especially interesting is that skinwalkers are most often linked to dogs, and this video is yet another example. Why dogs? There's a theory that they're...
That looks like part chicken, part man, and puppy monkey baby.
The easiest way to watch humans, gain their trust, and slowly get closer. Very close. Dogs symbolize loyalty. They stay by your side even when everyone else turns away. That's exactly what makes them the perfect disguise for something that comes from the darkness. A skinwalker is said to be an ancient spirit, banished from the world of the living, cursed to wander between dimensions. It can't possess just anyone. It needs a conduit, and the loyal eyes of a dog may be the best doorway into our world. Now look at this creature again. What do you feel? Write it in the comments. Maybe it's already closer than you think.
You guys, that's it for the show for today, guys. I appreciate all you guys stopping in. If you want to do some deep diving in some alien content, go ahead and hit this link up here. If you want to do a little bit more deep dive into, you know, some ghosts or something like that, go ahead and check that one down here. Till next time, as always, hit that link below. Much love and stay lifted.